Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Hello there, good evening and welcome to the National News Broadcast. I'm Niketh Karunaratne.
I'm Shara Mascarenhas. First, it's a look at the day's headlines.
Cabinet spokesman says the decision to increase the salary by the previous government amounts to deceiving the public. Cabinet approval has been granted for the fisheries subsidy and other concessions. Relief services continue despite the receding flood situation. Schools will be reopened from tomorrow. Preferential numbers of candidates in the general election to be declared tomorrow. The President explains the responsibility of him and the government officials in safeguarding the public wealth. Another ultra-luxury hotel for Colombo. Facilities for up to 5,000 guests at a time. 21 persons die in a specified aerial attack by Israel.
Now for those and other stories in detail, starting off with local news. Cabinet approval has been granted for the program to improve the economic situation of the fishing industry.
The relevant proposal was made by President Anurakumara Dissanayake. Accordingly, the Cabinet has decided to grant an allowance to the fisheries industry turned into normalcy subject to the maximum of Rs 300,000 per month for fishing vessel owners who obtain diesel as a fuel at 25 rupees per litre of diesel. The Cabinet has also decided to provide fishing industry recovery allowance of 25 rupees per litre of kerosene for vessel owners who obtain kerosene as a fuel, subject to a maximum of 15 litres of kerosene per day and 25 days per month, limiting to the working days only. According to the decision of the Cabinet of Ministers, whenever price revisions are made for diesel and kerosene, the maximum concession price for diesel is 250, subject to the maximum 6 period. This program will be maintained in such a way that the fishing communities are able to receive the concession of 7.5% from the market value for diesel and a concession of 12.5% from the market value for kerosene. Cabinet approval has been granted to re-establish the Food Policy Committee. The relevant proposal was made by the President. The committee will be chaired by the Secretary to the President and comprised of secretaries to 8 ministries. The Food Policy Committee was established enabling to ensure that the essential items including food are supplied to the market without any scarcity, to take necessary steps to control the increase of cost of living and to take appropriate decisions following a coordinated approach with all the parties. The Cabinet of Ministers has approved the proposal presented by the President to obtain necessary funds from the provisions allocated under the development program of the Department of the National Budget. Accordingly, the decision was reached to manage the obtained funds as appropriate to grant interim monthly allowance of 3,000 rupees to all pensioners, to increase the fertilizer subsidy up to 25,000 rupees per hectare, subject to the maximum of 2 hectares for the paddy cultivating farmers for the 2024-25 Maha season, and to provide financial assistance to fishing vessel owners. The Cabinet of Ministers has approved the proposal presented by President Anurakumara Dissanayake to purchase the debt management software system required for the management of public debt in the country from the Commonwealth Secretariat. Accordingly, the approval has been granted to obtain recommendations of the Procurement Committee appointed by the Cabinet of Ministers on the basis of the cost advantage, ease of data transmission, ability to maintain the integrity of data, and ensuring the compatibility among the systems.
Cabinet spokesman Minister Vijitha Herath says that the decision taken by the previous government to increase the salaries is an attempt to deceive the people. In the Cabinet press briefing today, he said that the Cabinet of Ministers of the previous government had not called for the observation by the Ministry of Finance or the Treasury prior to the decision. Cabinet spokesman Minister Vijitha Herath says that the previous government took a decision to increase the salaries in the state sector at close to the elections. He said that when inquiring into this decision, it has been revealed that no observation has been called from the Ministry of Finance in this regard. He said that the approval of the Finance Ministry has not been obtained to reach this decision. He added that the Cabinet of Ministers has made this decision arbitrarily. The Cabinet spokesman said that as of such increment. He said that this decision is a move made by the previous government to deceive the public. He further said that the present government will take a fresh decision whether to increase the considering the financial situation in the country. The government has indicated that vehicle import process is expected to be carried out under proper procedure. The process will be carried out without incurring another dollar crisis in the country. Minister Vijitha Herath mentioned that investigations will be conducted on the economic crimes and incidents of murder that occurred in the recent past, and the law will be enforced against the culprits. Investigations of 7 cases for which information has been received are expected to be completed. It was mentioned in the Cabinet press briefing that the government has taken steps to strictly implement the law against large-scale tax evaders. The government has taken steps to release Sri Lankans who are detained by cyber criminals in Myanmar to strictly implement the law of financial crimes committed by foreigners in the country. Police media spokesman DIG attorney at law Niyal Thalduwa said that these suspects have hacked into bank accounts of the people in Sri Lanka as well as other countries. He said that billions of funds are being channeled as cryptocurrency in other countries since people often get caught in such scams. He urged the public to be on alert over the movement of suspicious individuals, especially when renting out houses and hotels for foreigners in long-term basis. Cabinet spokesman Minister Vijitha Herath said that authorities are yet to uncover whether these suspects have infiltrated the financial system of the country. Cabinet spokesman Minister Vijitha Herath mentioned that the upcoming general election will be held without causing hindrances to activities of temples. He further said that the local government election will be held next year.
Now, according to the Department of Irrigation, the flood situation, which affected several districts, has been gradually receding during the last 24 hours with a letdown in the rainfall. However, the number of persons affected due to floods has exceeded 159,000. According to the Ministry of Education, except 3 schools where displaced people were kept and were closed, all the other schools would be reopened from tomorrow.
Relief service centres are being held in 3 schools of the Kolonnava Educational Division. The centres located around schools are the Vidyavardhana Vidyalaya, Kotuvila Gamini Vidyalaya and the Sedavartha Siddhartha Vidyalaya. The reopening of these 3 schools will be informed later. The Department of Irrigation points out that the flood condition around the Attangalvoya, Kalani, Kalu and Ging basins is showing a considerable decrease. The water level of low-lying areas of Kolonnava is receding by now. According to our correspondents, the water level of the Kalani River is receding as well. Certain areas in the Ambatale Kaduwela main road that had been inundated are getting cleared gradually. The water level of the Nilvala River in Mathara due to incessant rains last night has risen. Vehicular traffic at the Panadugama section of the Siamalangoda Akurasa Road in Athuraliya Provincial Secretariat Division has been hampered. 2 sluice gates of Daduroya Reservoir have been opened in the afternoon today. A volume of 1,400 cubic feet per second is being released. In the Gampaha, Colombo and Puttalam districts, relief teams of the Navy are engaged in their operations continuously. These activities are being coordinated by the Disaster Management Centre. The flood situation of the country has been observed with the help of an aircraft and a Bell 412 helicopter belonging to the Maritime Squadron of the Sri Lanka Air Force. Kalutara District Secretary Janaka Gunawardhana and a team of officials inspected affected areas around Waskadua and Potopitiya today. Cooked food is being distributed among the affected people, and the concerned quarters have been advised to prepare a drainage system where roads have been inundated due to rainwater. Dr. Palita Mahipala participated in an observation tour yesterday to take stock of the health and sanitation facilities of the people who are being kept at several welfare centres. Special attention was paid to the health condition of pregnant mothers, small children and elders who were camped at the Kotuvila Gamini Vidyalaya and Kalani Vidyalaya. After a gap of a few days, a sunny sky could be observed in the Colombo district today. A huge crocodile has been spotted near the Diyavanna adjoining the parliamentary complex after the rainy conditions in the morning today.
President Kumar Dissanayake says that the authorities must work towards a public service that satisfies the citizens. He made these remarks while taking part in the progress review meeting of the Ministry of Energy this morning. President Kumar Dissanayake said that during this presidential election, the people had voted with expectations and he is committed to fulfilling that mandate. President Kumar Dissanayake highlighted that the public has placed their trust in the new political tradition due to dissatisfaction with the old political culture, the economic problems they face, and their dissatisfaction with the performance of the public service. President Kumar Dissanayake pointed out that similar to other countries where the energy sector holds a prominent position, Sri Lanka too has given the energy sector a leading role. He has also mentioned that the Ministry of Energy is one that generates revenue, and with higher earnings, there are societal discussions about possible irregularities. He said that during the presidential election, the people had voted with expectations and he is committed to fulfilling that mandate. He further said that the public has placed their trust in a new political tradition due to dissatisfaction with the old political culture, the economic problems they face, and their dissatisfaction with the performance of the public service. He also said that public wealth must be protected like religious property, and no one has a legitimate right to subject wealth to fraud or corruption. The President said that the commitment of the current public servants is essential to create an efficient and effective public service that satisfies the citizens, and he is ready to take every step necessary to achieve this objective. The President emphasized that public servants must act with responsibility and accountability to fulfill the structure, goals and expectations of this mandate, and stated that his political leadership team is prepared to provide the necessary leadership. He further noted that he stands by every public action taken in the public's interest within the boundaries of official duty and will not hesitate to take necessary action if improper acts are committed.
Now, the Election Commissioner General Saman Sri Ratnayake says that the preferential numbers of the candidates contesting in the general election will be handed over tomorrow. He said in a press briefing held today that the preferential lists will be forwarded to the authorized representatives of each district. Election Commissioner General Saman Sri Ratnayake said that the total number of candidates contesting at the general election is 8,821. He said that the issuance of preferential numbers for the candidates of political parties and independent groups will be carried out tomorrow. He added that the preliminary arrangements in this regard have been made at the election office. Accordingly, he said that the relevant preferential lists will be handed over to the authorized personnel of political parties and independent group leaders. A discussion was held this morning between the General Secretaries of political parties and the Election Commission regarding the general election at the Election Commission. This was the first meeting between the party secretaries and the Election Commission following the announcement of the general election. The minimum amount that can be spent by one candidate was discussed.
The Postal Trade Union of the National People's Power pays its regards to everyone who contributed in safeguarding the Nuwara Post Office building on behalf of the Postal Department. These views has been made in a media meeting held today. Post Office in Nuwara with a historical value is a landmark of the city. It is famous among local and foreign tourists as well. The former government took steps to remove this post office from the Postal Department, and a large number of sections objected to it. The present subject minister, Vijitha Herath, participating in the 2024 Postal Day celebration, said that this decision would be suspended. The Postal Trade Union of the National People's Power organized a media meet today in the Post Office building to convey their thanks to everyone who supported in maintaining it under the Postal Department. Patron of the MPP Postal Employees Union, Damagulle Somananda Thera, said that an asset which was about to be deprived to the people of Nuwara has been restored and tribute has to be paid for this action. The expectation of forming the new government is to change the prevailing system. The Thera also said that special thanks have to be paid for taking strong decisions to protect the country within a span of 2 weeks from forming the government. MG Palagunasekara of the All Ceylon Telegram Employees Union said that an consolidated postal trade union front, they offered an unstinted support to the postal department. Cinnamon Life at City of Dreams, Sri Lanka, luxury hotel complex which can provide services easily for more than 5,000 at a time, was inaugurated today.
This project is being operated under John Keel's Holdings, has been completed with an investment of more than $1.2 billion. The construction of this gigantic hotel complex located by the side of the Beara Lake facing Golf Face was started in the year 2014. The Cinnamon Life project is considered to be the most unique and multifunctional development project in Sri Lanka.
Right now I'm at Cinnamon Life, which is open for public since yesterday. This place is absolutely stunning and it is the largest entertainment hub in South Asia. The first phase of a Cinnamon Life is open, but the second phase will open the following year in August, where you will get to witness a beautiful mall alongside casinos and also the luxury hotel, which is yet to be opened. But right now you can experience over 600 rooms in the hotel and you get to see beautiful art pieces all around the hotel, and you get to check in the sky, because I'm right now at the sky lobby. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Cinnamon Life, the City of Dreams.
The project has been designed by John Keel's group of companies and is considered as the largest group of businesses in the country. The entire Cinnamon Life premises, consisting of 687 ultra-luxury rooms, has ballrooms, event spaces, wedding ceremonies and meetings, where space has been designated for international conferences and exhibitions. The specialty of the hotel is that it can accommodate more than 5,000 guests at a time. Service is being provided by a staff of more than 1,500, including 250 chefs for all the guests who arrive at Cinnamon Life.
History, and we finally opened it. We're sitting on 4.5 million square feet of concrete, an amazing design, but what makes the Cinnamon Life unique is its 1,500 employees that have been trained and are still becoming trained by 40 plus international experts in the hospitality industry. We brought to Colombo experts in mixology, in the art of making coffee, in the art of wine, and this makes us truly unique, and we're bringing an international flair to Colombo and to Sri Lanka on high-end hospitality. The architecture of Cinnamon Life is also unique. It's a fantastic building, and I look forward to welcome you all very, very, very soon. Not only the outside is unique, but the inside is even more unique, because we are featuring 19 of the most prestigious contemporary artists of Sri Lanka throughout the property. So I invite you to come and look at all the beautiful art, discover our restaurants and bars, and welcome you.
A fundamental rights petition has been filed in the Supreme Court requesting to issue an order to cancel the first question paper of the Grade 5 scholarship examination and to hold the examination afresh. This petition has been filed by a group of 27 students who participated in the examination and 27 parents of them. It has been requested for the Supreme Court to issue an interim preventive order requesting not to declare the marks and cut off marks with regard to Grade 5 scholarship examination. This has been done in order to accommodate the completion of inquiry in the petition and to hold a fresh examination for the particular question paper. It has also been requested to act accordingly in case it were to be revealed that the questions of the second question paper have also been leaked in the investigations, alleging that the questions of this examination has been leaked before. It has been mentioned that in the petition that to issue an order to cancel and revoke the decision to award full marks to the leaked 3 questions.
The attention of the United Nations has been focused on education sector reforms and the digitization of the public sector. A discussion in this regard was held between the United Nations Assistant Secretary General Kanni Vignaraja and Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amrasuriya at the Prime Minister's office. Attention was directed to many issues including the development of the United Nations cooperation for the sustainable development of the country, community safety and social security. Secretary to the Prime Minister Pradeep Saputantri and several representatives of the United Nations were present at this discussion.
Traders of the Kapitipulla Special Economic Centre says that the prices of a number of vegetables has come down due to the inclement weather. The farmers say that a situation has arisen where they are unable to sell vegetables even at that rate. The prices of vegetables at Kapitipulla Special Economic Centre had come down during the last few days too. The attendance of the traders had also come down considerably due to bad weather. Vegetable cultivation of many areas has been destroyed according to the reports due to the prevailing weather condition. As per the wholesale prices of vegetables at the Kapitipulla Special Economic Centre, by now a kilo of beans is between 330 and 350 rupees, while the price of a kilogram of tomatoes stand between 180 to 250 rupees. The price of a kilogram of carrot is between 70 to 75 rupees, while the price of a kilogram of brinjal is between 50 to 60 rupees. The price of cabbage stood at 50 and 70 rupees, while a kilogram of leeks was priced at 120 and 30 rupees. The price of nokol is between 70 and 80 rupees, while a kilogram of beetroot has been priced between 60 and 70 rupees. Potatoes has been fixed at a wholesale price of 180 to 230 rupees, while a kilo of radish is between 60 to 70 rupees. The wholesale price of chilies has been recorded as 400 rupees per kilo.
The Director General of the Fisheries and Aquatic Resources Department states that the fish harvest can be normalized with the implementation of revised fuel prices from the 1st of October. A discussion regarding the implementation of the fuel subsidy given to the fisheries community was held today at the Government Information Department. Attention was also paid to streamline the fisheries industry. The fisheries industry faced a severe crisis during the last 2 years due to the increase in the price of fuel in the market. Fisheries products have come down during the last 2 years on a large scale due to this reason. According to available data, the sea fish production of this country during the year 2019 has been around 415,000 metric tons, and the same value has been decreased to 293,000 metric tons by the year 2023. Director General of the Fisheries and Aquatic Resources Department Susanta Kahavatta said that this program is being implemented from the 1st of October. He said that the price of a litre of petrol in 2019 has been 104 rupees, which was increased to 430 rupees in 2022. He added that the current prices of a litre of petrol is 311 rupees. He pointed out that diesel will be provided for vessel owners at a rate of 283 rupees per litre, and it is expected to provide diesel to them under a maximum of 12,000 litre limit, and the price will stand at 25 rupees less than the previous amount.
The government of China says that full support will be extended to law enforcement agencies for the investigations conducted over the Chinese nationals taken into custody over online financial frauds. The Embassy of China in Sri Lanka made these remarks while issuing a statement. The statement issued by the Embassy of China in Sri Lanka has indicated that these cases not only pose a threat to both the nations but also seriously damage China's image and affect the traditional friendship between the two countries. The statement further indicated that full support will be extended to Sri Lankan law enforcement agencies to conduct the relevant investigations. The statement has also pointed out that China stands ready to further strengthening law enforcement cooperation with Sri Lanka, taking swift and effective actions to jointly address the issue. It further noted that the Chinese government actively promotes China-Sri Lanka anti-online fraud law enforcement cooperation and continuously explores the path of cracking down on crimes of telecom and online fraud.
The chairman of the Foreign Employment Bureau, Kaushala Wickramasinghe, says that a new section has been opened to forward the problems of the public to the institute. He expressed his views to the media, added that this place, which is located on the ground floor of the head office of the Bureau, has been named as Sabha Patita Kiyanna. The The chairman of the Foreign Employment Bureau, Kaushal Wickramasinghe, said that middlemen and officials at various levels are interfering in the foreign employment process and they are inclined towards capitalizing on financial benefits. He further added that under the new government, efforts have been taken to avert this activity. He said that they are planning to direct all kinds of allegations and criticism to a single place.
Let's take a look at most news in brief. Chairman of the University Grants Commission, Senior Professor Sampath Amaratunga has resigned from his post with effect from yesterday. A fire broke out in the rear engine part of the express train operating from Kaluthura to Maradana this morning. Railway officials and railway controllers have managed to control the fire and no serious damage has been reported. The movement between Colombo Fort and Maradana railway stations was disrupted due to a derailment. The engine of the Meenagaya intercity train, which was arriving from Badikalo to Colombo Fort, was derailed at 7 a.m. today. Accordingly, the railway department has said the delays may occur in the train journeys on the relevant route and on the coastal railway line. That's a look at local news. Stay with us. Updates for you from Lebanon coming up next.
டெங்கு நோயை இல்லாதொழிப்பது உங்கள் திறமையும் கடமையுமாகும். வாரத்தில் ஒரு முறை என்றாலும் உங்கள் சூழலை பற்றி சிந்தித்து பாருங்கள்.
சுகாதார அமைச்சின் டெங்கு ஒழிப்பு பிரிவின் தகவல்.
And we take a look at foreign news now. At least 45 people were reported dead in an Israeli air attack on the mostly Christian village of Eitin in northern Lebanon.
Meanwhile, the Israel Defense Forces have reiterated claims that Hezbollah is using ambulances to move fighters and weapons in southern Lebanon, in a warning to medical teams in the area. The Israeli Defense Forces continue intense air and ground attacks against Hezbollah in Lebanon and against Hamas in the Gaza Strip. Speaking at a military base hit by a Hezbollah drone attack that killed 4 soldiers and wounded dozens, the Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that Israel will keep striking Hezbollah targets across Lebanon, including the capital Beirut. Israeli officials, including the Prime Minister, have assured the United States that a counterstrike on Iran will be limited to military targets rather than oil or nuclear facilities. An Israeli retaliation that targets Iran's nuclear facilities could trigger a regional war, and a strike on oil fields could send energy prices soaring.
South Korea's military asserted that North Korea has blown up the northern sections of the disused roads that connect it to South Korea.
Some parts of the roads north of the military demarcation line dividing 2 countries were blown up today. Video shared by the South Korean Defense Ministry showed several explosions on roads on the north side of the military demarcation line that separates North and South Korea. Heavy machineries, including trucks and excavators, were then deployed to at least one of the roads, which was partially blocked by a black barrier. In response to the explosions, the South Korean military opened gunfire within the area south of the military demarcation line and is closely monitoring the North Korean military's movements and maintaining fully readiness posture under cooperation with the United States.
Kottumi, Santamai.
Let me take a look at sports news now. The team participating in the Asian Netball Championship left for India this morning.
The players met Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya yesterday before their departure. The Prime Minister, who held a friendly discussion with the team, conveyed her best wishes for victory in the championship. inaugural ceremony of the Asian Netball Championship being held in India will be held on the 17th of this month. A unique feature of this year's championship is the participation of 14 Asian countries for the first time. Dulangi Vannitilaka is the captain of the Sri Lanka netball team. Hasita Mendis, Rashmi Divyanjali, Gali Amaravansha, Tishala Algama, Shanika Pereira, Gayani Disanayaka, Gayatri Kaushalya, Susima Bandara, Sachini Rodrigo, Malmi Hettiarachchi and Shalini Nisha are the other players of the team. Nalika Prasadi holds the responsibility of being the coach of the team. Dr. Laleka Nayaka is the team physician and monsieur of the team is Manoj Darshana. Padmini Horanage is the manager of the team, while the president of the Asian Netball Association, Lakshmi Victoria, is also participating in the tournament. The tournament is due to be held in Bangalore, India from the 18th to the 27th.
Now, currently the T20 match between Sri Lanka and West Indies is currently underway. The match is being played at the Dambulla International Cricket Stadium. Sri Lanka won the toss and elected to bat first, and accordingly Sri Lanka scored 162 runs for the loss of 5 wickets in their innings. Pathum Nissanka scored 54 runs, becoming the highest scorer for Sri Lanka. Kusal Mendis scored 26, while Kusal Pereira scored 24 runs. Romario Shepherd picked up 2 wickets for West Indies. Chasing a target of 163 runs, West Indies is currently at 14 runs for the loss of 1 wicket.
Prima Kutumi, Fantamai.
And that's all the news for tonight. Join us again at the same time tomorrow. Good night.